Nyrsko, in the early days, the burnt family. That's possibly my mother. It is my grandfather, and that's my grandmother, and that is Louisa for sure. This picture is Nello and Louisa and my grandfather and grandmother. Some of these pictures get a little hazy because they were taken from very small prints, grandfather and grandmother. And there's Nello and Louisa in the background, possibly my mother right in the front there. Nello and Louise in the early days, tennis racket. And my mother also with a tennis racket, probably in Nyrsko. And this is her driver's license. This is probably in the house that we're going to be visiting. And that's my mother. Don't know who the other two are. And here we are in Nyrsko. These photographs are from Gabriella, the only pictures we actually had of the house prior to going there. And here we are today, what the house now looks like. There's the intrepid group. And if you're thinking of moving in, this is what the house looks like from the back. This is the creek in front of the house, across the street, in Gabriella's picture. And this is what the creek looks like, probably from the same spot today. They fixed it up a bit. And this is the other side of the creek from the other side of the house. We couldn't find the factory, so Alex had the idea of going to the museum and asking them. This was a one-man operated museum, and upon our arrival and Alex's introduction, he made some phone calls and all these people showed up. We're going through some old photographs, and this is his wife, I think, who was very excited because she's the town historian. I don't know how to translate Czech, so we'll let her do the talking here.
Nevím, jestli náhodou nezůstali někteří jakoby členové rodiny stále v Nýrsku a jestli třeba se na hřbitově nenachází někdo z rodiny.
Translation.
No, I was just asking or telling what we are looking for, and if it's possible to look for some pictures since
Or the location of the factory.
19th century till 1938, let's say, when your family emigrated, and look for some pictures, some information, and if they have some information of the persons from the family which didn't emigrate, which stay here, if they are on the cemetery, or what happened with it. Or was founded the factory with...
Wait a minute, stop. Oh, no, it's going. Sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
Your childhood.
And they were exporting the tools to the whole world.
And the factory was opened in 1904.
Was founded in 1904.
And
yes,
where are we right now?
at the Museum of the Nyrsko.
In
And
Czech
in the Czech Republic, yeah.
In what used to be called Neuern in German, but is now called Nyrsko?
Oh.
So at the museum has a large sign stating the burnt factory was built in 1904, right after the optical lens company. These are artifacts that they had in the museum about Sigmund Berndt factory, and some old pictures of Nyrska. You can see it's Neuern at the bottom of the page, and in this other picture you can see the house my mother lived in, probably around the time that she was actually there. This is a picture of Nyrsko in the old days, and where that chimney is where the factory was. This is the school, the high school in those days, so probably my mother went there. This is the factory, and it's the only picture that Gabriella had, and when we got there, we took a picture of exactly the same spot and pretty much made up our mind that that building in front is an office building. The building behind is the optical lens company. The factory, in fact, was just down the hill in two buildings, and this is the main building. And here we are as we review the factory. There's the general manager of the optical lens company, and he's explaining everything to us. They have taken over the burnt buildings, and there's the second building. And we're taking a look at that. I'm just guessing at this, but this looks more like a warehouse for probably the raw materials for the tool and die factory. This is the main building, and we're just entering
the whole big Austrian monarchy. He was one of the biggest exporter of this farming tool at the time.
So the Ocula factory was the first one here.
Yes.
And then people heard about it.
Something like that.
And so he came probably from Austria.
Yeah,
Built-
for sure.
built-
Ocula came from Vienna.
Yeah. So built the factory, supplying perhaps some things to Ocula for their
Yep.
equipment, and went in business.
Yeah, yeah.
Tady prostě bylo území těch Sudetů a tady.
So the general manager there at Ocula continues to give us a little bit of the history. It's all in Czech, and there's another version of this video that if you want to listen to the Czech part. But I took a scan of Siegfried Berndt Tool and Die factory, and this is it. I can imagine it as much busier. There's still tool and die equipment here, which they use in the optical lens business, and this is now part of the factory, their factory, and we thought that it was an interesting building, and the general manager continued and showed us as they use. There's the building in his catalog, and still part of their company. Alex, now slowly, let's repeat the story. You phoned somebody. You phoned somebody, and they mentioned. Okay, what happened? They mentioned the Bird family.
Yeah, well, the lady, which was a wife of the guy in the library, she was interested about the history of the town, and she actually knows some of the person in the town which used to know the family Berndt, and it was like I don't remember the last name of it was something like a Tanger or something like that, and he was a doctor, and he was quite a big friend with Siegfried Berndt, and he had a son, and he remember because I think it was the son or son of the son. Like
Tanzer family had a son.
Yes, and he remember or he heard about, I don't know if it was that person or son of, but heard about in the Berndt family, this person which owned the factory had two daughters at that time, and both of them were very beautiful, and he fell in love. The son of the doctor fell in love. They were friends, and fell in love with both of the girls because they were beautiful.
So who were you?
So here's our group, we're exhausted, and that's my mother and her mother, my grandmother, and again my mother, probably back in the days. This is Renee and Mitzi Berndt, my mother's sister. My mother off to play some tennis. And this is back in Vancouver now. And here she is at a party. There they are. This is probably early days Vancouver. And Nello and Louisa in London, also early days, just after the war, maybe. And Nello and his Jaguar in later years. And my mother playing bridge, which is what she did pretty much 2 or 3 times a week.